Hey, what's up guys? So recently we made a video on how to shoot a ceremony, but what about editing the ceremony? Well, we're gonna be going over that today. I have Erica, come on in. She is going to be showing you her process on what she does when she has to edit a wedding ceremony.
Hey guys, so as Eric said, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to edit a ceremony. So the first thing you guys are going to do is you're going to open Final Cut Pro. So the first thing that is going to happen when you open up Final Cut Pro is it's going to say open a library. What we're going to do is exactly that. We are going to create a new library. And I am just going to title this Editing a Ceremony. So now that we have our library all set up, we want to import our media. So I have a folder that's all set up with the media that we are going to be using. So let me open that up. And as you can see, I have clips of the ceremony and I have some audio options. So we are going to select all of them and say import all. And quickly it imports all of it, which is fantastic. And now we are going to create a new project. And I am going to name this the same thing, editing a ceremony. And as you can see in the event, it's going to put obviously today's date. You want the starting time code to be 0. We do not want to edit in 4K because that's kind of going to make the rendering process a lot longer. So we're going to edit in 1080p HD, and it's going to change the resolution to 1920 by 1080. And we absolutely want the frame rate at 29.97. So everything else looks good, and we're going to press OK. And as you can see, it created a new timeline for us, and we can start editing this ceremony. So before I even start editing a ceremony, I like to look at the footage that I've received and the audio that I received. So when I listen to the audio, I primarily want to make sure you can hear everyone. Of course, you can tweak the audio every so often in Final Cut Pro to make it sound a lot better, but you know, you primarily just want to hear everyone. So for example, it sounds like you can hear. All right, and I have all my clips of the ceremony here. This is the shooter that is walking around the ceremony. So they get all different types of shots. And this one, let's see, this one just looks like a standstill camera, which is awesome, perfect. Once you go through all your clips and all your audio, you're gonna wanna do something called multicamming. Multicamming basically takes clips that were recorded at the same time and audio and sync it together. So this is why when you go to a wedding, when you have multiple cameras at a ceremony, you want to have your cameras start around the same time and end around the same time, and have the audio start and end around the same time as well, because it's easier for Final Cut to multicam and sync the audio to the videos a lot easier. So that is what I'm going to do. So by pressing the command key, I'm going to select the audio and all the clips of the ceremony, okay? Then I'm going to right click and I'm going to say new multicam clip. And now it's going to ask what you want to name your multicam clip. I'm just going to put ceremony for right now. And you want your starting time code to be 0. And yes, you absolutely want to check use audio for synchronization. So we're going to press OK. So as you can see, the multicam has finished. And what I'm going to do is I am going to pull it into the timeline. And guys, do not be scared right now. I know all you see is black. I understand. But that is just the audio, because the audio had started for the cameras. So that's sometimes why you will see black. You're probably asking, Erica, how the hell do I multicam if all I see is a black screen? Well, I'm going to answer that for you. So you're going to go to this view tab that is on your right side, and you want to say show angles. And now you see this shows where your audio is coming from, and this also shows where your video is coming from. So the audio is perfect right now. We want it to be on this. All right, so I see that the camera is starting around here. So the first thing you want to make sure is your audio is good, which is perfect. Your audio is on the right place. Your video is not. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to press this like little film tab that's right here. That indicates that you're just switching cameras. This indicates that you want to switch video and audio. And this just indicates that you want to switch audio. So I only want to switch video. So I'm going to go to the little film tab. So as I play this, you see, you know, they're just standing around right now. And you know, you don't want to start a ceremony off of that. You don't want to start just a photographer and the pastor just standing around. So you kind of want to go to where the wedding is about to start. If I look at all my clips that are up here, I have a shot that's down here, I have a shot that's on the side, and I have a shot that is close to the door where the people are coming out. Which one do you think is going to be the first shot? Because I say it's going to be this one, because obviously you want to see the people that are coming down the aisle. Around here, you're going to want to use the blade tool. So to get this little tool that I have right here, you press the B, the letter B on your keyboard, and that's how you get it. So I'm just gonna cut it right there. I'm going to click A to get back to the select tool. As you can see, I'm gonna select that clip and then press the backspace bar to delete it. Okay, awesome. Now we found a good place for our wedding to start. I said we wanted to use this clip to start, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. So with that tool, just click that. And as you can see, this whole thing changes to just this camera angle until you switch it. And I'm gonna show you what I mean in just a second. Okay, now you can see that the guys are obviously gone out of this shot. So we're going to find an angle where you can see them again. Obviously, this one right here is probably where you're going to be seeing them again. So I am going to switch to this clip. And as you can see, when you switch the camera, there's going to be like a little bit of a break mark here, which indicates that you had switched cameras. So obviously when you get to this shot, you don't want the photographer to be in the shot. You know, let's be real, the photographer's gonna get in your shot every once in a while, but you really wanna try to avoid that. So what I am going to do is I am going to switch back to this camera, because since the groomsmen and the groom just had walked down the aisle, that means the bridesmaids and the bride are gonna be walking down the aisle next. So I'm going to switch to this camera now. As you see, she's starting to come down the aisle, which is great. But then all of a sudden, oh my God, like the groomsmen, she disappears. So what I'm going to do is right before she comes out of the frame, I'm going to switch back to this shot. And as you can see, this cameraman right here has a view of her coming down the aisle. We want to make sure we got everyone, which we do. Awesome. The bridesmaids are there. Great. Awesome. When he gets back to the people standing up, I'm going to switch back to this camera because the bride is about to come down the aisle, which is super exciting. And this part is where they kind of just try to settle right before the pastor starts speaking. So what we're gonna do is this cameraman looks ready with their shot, so I'm gonna switch to that camera. You see how this cameraman just shook right here? I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna switch to a different camera because this is a still camera and I know it's gonna stay still. Around here, I'm gonna switch back to this camera. This shot is a pretty important shot, I would say, because you can see the bride and the groom, you see the pastor, which is very important, and you can pretty much see almost everything that's going on. So let's kind of get right through this. Another reason why I love this shot is because you can also see the bride and groom's emotions. So when he just said, oh, you love playing with her hair, whatever, you can see she's laughing. And those are great moments to capture when you're doing a ceremony. Obviously, when you're editing a ceremony, you kind of want to go through the whole thing to make sure the audio sounds good, you make sure you hear everyone. Okay, so this is the part where he's giving her the ring. I'm going to change about right here to this shot. You can see him giving the groom the ring and her reaction when she gets the ring on her finger. All right, so this part is pretty important. This is where they're supposed to drink the wine. In this couple's case, they're drinking beer, which is pretty amazing. So as you can see, this shot is getting a little bit dark. So what I am going to do to improvise is right when he says that.
Ceremony that best fits their relationship.
Okay, so right when he's just starting to talk about the beer, I'm going to switch to this camera. What I am going to do is I'm going to switch back as they start walking, and I'm going to select this clip. With me, I'm very nitpicky about color correction, and when a shot is overexposed or underexposed, like, I need to fix it right away. That's just me as an editor. Everyone has a different editing style. Obviously, you can fix this after you're done editing the ceremony, but I like to do it right then so I know that my shot is decent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this like little arrow. It looks like a triangle. It has a little colorful stuff in it. And I'm just gonna like raise the highlight a little bit, raise the shadow. That looks 10 times better. You can see their faces. Beautiful, awesome. And they kiss.
Congratulations.
Whatever shot's the best, that's the one you're gonna pick. Obviously it's this one. The ceremony is not quite over yet. You wanna get the people walking back up the aisle. Obviously you wanna get the bride and groom. They're gonna be super happy knowing that they're husband and wife now. So you obviously wanna have that shot in the ceremony footage, along with maybe some other people that are important to the family. So let's jump right in and do that. All right, so they look really super happy there, which is awesome. Then you're gonna want to switch. People standing, people walking. And then we are going to switch back to this camera to get the rest of them up. All right, so that is primarily where we're gonna kind of fade out the wedding. So what I'm gonna do is press the B key again, break it, press the A key, select that, backspace to delete it. All right. Let's look a little bit, and to shrink the timeline, you're gonna press Command and the minus sign. Look at that, we have successfully multicammed a ceremony. So look at that, it looks pretty good. We color correct a couple things. This looks amazing. All right, awesome. Now, when it comes to the beginning and the end of the ceremony, usually what I like to do is kind of fade into the ceremony. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this out a little bit. It's this little, I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. It's this little knob that's right here. As you can see, you can either keep the audio where it is or you can fade it in. What I usually like to do is right click and do an S curve. This fades the audio in very, very nicely. And also, to start out a ceremony, I like to also add from the Install Transitions button, a cross dissolve in the beginning. So this transitions in very well. At the end, I like to do the same thing, and that sounds pretty good. And I'm gonna put a cross dissolve at the end as well. All right, so now we're gonna save the ceremony. So we are going to go to File, Share, Master File. All right, and our settings are perfect. We want to codec H.264. Everything looks good. We're gonna go to next. And we're just gonna say we are going to save it. All right guys, so that's how you edit a ceremony. Obviously, I might not be the best at explaining things. I'm not usually, able to explain things in an easy way, but I really hope I helped you guys out. And, just remember every ceremony is different. Every Wedding is going to be somewhere different. You're going to obviously get different shots, so please remember that. Pay attention to shakiness. If you see a camera shaking, make sure to switch to another camera so the ceremony comes out fluent. And as Eric always says, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave it in the comments section below. All right, I'm Erica, and I think I'm going to catch you in how to edit a reception. So I'll see you in the next one.